typically rely on textbooks and other graded materials as part of their curriculum. Unfortunately, the world outside the classroom isn't custom tailored to match our students' individual language levels. So at a certain point, we have to prepare them to face the real English-speaking world by bringing authentic materials into the classroom. Today, I'm going to have my students read an article about space exploration that I downloaded from an online newspaper. I'm going to use this as a jumping off point for a debate about whether they agree with the article or not. This is because reading often leads to speaking. We usually tell people about books or articles we've read by summarizing first and then giving our opinion, so I want to make my students practice this skill. I chose this article because the topic is something that everyone has an opinion on, so it will spark some good conversation. I frequently bring authentic materials into my class to supplement my graded materials. I know that the more exposure I give them to what native speakers read in real life, the more I improve their fluency. And when students can interact with the English world on more sophisticated levels, they feel a true sense of accomplishment. Okay, now class, we're going to read this article from a newspaper, and then we're going to have a discussion about it. So first, read the article, and then we will talk about it. Did everyone read the article?
Yes.
Good. So now, who can summarize this article for me? Stephanie?
Peter Diamandis tells some facts about the exploring of the space, and he mentions that in 8 years it was possible. From the start on, Kennedy said, let's send a man to the moon. It took only 8 years when we succeeded in it, and he not really believe that it might any day only cost $100 to send one man in the space. At the moment it costs $20 million. But his grandmother, he mentions that his grandmother wouldn't have believed that we can send a man to the moon. So it can be. It may be that we can send somebody to the moon for only $100 in a few decades.
Very good. Thank you, Stephanie. Does anybody have anything to add to that? Anything about what you just read?
Yeah. He says that 3 things motivate us to do this explorer: so curiosity, fear, and the potential for new forms of wealth. So I think that's the reason.
Great. Thank you, Jack. So what does Peter think we should do?
Invest more time or money in improving our possibilities to explore the space, to make it cheaper, easier.
Exactly. Does he think we should explore space?
It's imperative to go into space for him.
Yes, exactly.
It seems that we have a moral obligation to explore space. So.
Very good, thank you. Now class, how do you feel about this? What are your opinions on this article?
The problem is that it costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And this money have we to pay in taxes. And therefore some people think it won't be in the time I'm alive, so I have no really good effect. And so they are not interested and don't want that their money is spent in research for the exploration.
Thank you, Stephanie. Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of problems in the world, and maybe this is a very luxury problem. There are people who don't have enough money to buy food or to drink water, and why should we spend so much money into the exploration of space when there are a lot of people suffering smaller problems, or
Yes.
basically problems. Yeah.
Very good point. Thank you, Peter. What about you, Juhei? What do you think?
I agree with Peter Diem in this, because we have to travel space, because maybe space will give some special resource, natural resource for us. We cannot sure, but we have to try to travel space.
So do you agree with Juhei, Nicole?
Well, I think that we really can find some metals and it will bring money for sure, but I can't see it like a moral obligation, like, yeah.
Great, thank you. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a kind of moral obligation. So it's just yeah, I'm also curious about just exploring space, but just it's my thinking. So I don't need to go and explore space. Just just sometimes yeah, I want to go to space, but I'm not I'm not wondering
Curious about
I'm not
that.
wondering about how to go there or how much does it cost or something like that.
Right,
So it's just my opinion.
thank you. What about you, Nicholas? Do you agree with Jack? What do you think?
I don't know. I think it could be interesting to explore space, and maybe it can help us to resolve a problem on our Earth here on the world. For example, for all trashes and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting, but it's not imperative, I think.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. That was great. With a little detective work, you could find authentic materials appropriate for any level. For beginner students, try shorter, simpler texts, such as menus, bus schedules, recipes, comic strips, or weather forecasts. For more advanced students, try poems, movie reviews, editorials, or newspaper articles. Besides stimulating discussion, authentic materials are great ways to build your students' vocabulary with words they're likely to encounter outside of the classroom. And they're easy to find. Just look around you. Authentic materials are everywhere.